from South Jersey.
So what were one of your favorite moments, whether it was Roger and Me, Canadian Bacon, TV Nation, Awful Truth, Fahrenheit 9/11, Sicko, Capitalism, A Love Story, but some of those moments in these films that are unforgettable, or the TV shows where you're going after someone or you're trying to expose the truth?
Well, yeah, on the TV Nation and The Awful Truth, we had a little reunion of some of us the other night who worked on TV Nation, and we were talking about how so many issues that are still in the news now that we were doing this back in 15, 16, 17 years ago. There was an episode where I convinced the Michigan militia to go on a Ferris wheel ride with me, and we just did stuff like that, Well, when you went to try to buy a nuke in I went to Russia. When Russia had become Russia, I wanted to go find the missile that had been pointed at Flint all those years and see if I could buy it or, have it pointed at Orange County or something. So.
When you were climbing the wall?
Yeah, we climbed over the wall of this Soviet missile base, now a Russian missile base, and they caught up to us. It was kind of sad and pathetic though, because they didn't have any parts left for their army tanks and jeeps and stuff. So there were all these soldiers chasing after us on like a 1940s fire truck, and it looked like something out of a Buster Keaton movie. It was just, but yeah, no, they held us for a while. But that was all. I mean, that TV show, those shows were a lot of fun and scary. We were saying how, geez, we would never do that anymore. I remember we snuck a pimp, an actual pimp, a guy who was a real pimp in real life, into the Capitol building and went to all the various senators, like walked right into their offices with this pimp who wanted to praise them for whoring themselves out to, Exxon and everything. And we tried to get, who was the senator from Minnesota before Dayton? And no, it was the Republican before Dayton. I can't remember now, but he had a pair of these high heel shoes they were trying to get the senator to wear on camera because he was like the best of all of them. And I was just thinking, God, we could never do that now. I mean, we just would be shot if we attempted anything like that. We fooled these congressmen into introducing a bill on the House floor to declare August 16th TV Nation Day across the country. And we literally got a whole bunch of co-signers, and they actually spoke on the floor. We got 3 representatives, and we filmed them taking all these essentially bribes from me, gifts, if they would just introduce this into the record. And so that you can get it on the C-SPAN archives now. You can just see these congressmen reading their proclamation for TV Nation Day. But so the shows were, they were a lot of fun, and I think they brought, this was all before, Jon Stewart and all this stuff where we did a lot of this, trying to inspire young people to be a little rebellious and not be afraid of power and authority.
Can you talk about your experience winning the Academy Award? Describe what that was like for people. I mean, you are now reaching billions of people, albeit you have how many seconds to make your comment?
45 seconds.
How many?
45.
So talk about the moment. And did you think you were going to win?
No. No. I was certain that that wouldn't happen, and because if we had win, somehow Price Waterhouse would rig it so that they would never call my name. It was the 5th day of the Iraq War. Remember, they weren't going to even have the Oscars, and I was pretty nervous about the whole thing. And I got a call from Tim Robbins, and he said, "Why don't you come on over for lunch tomorrow at the hotel we're staying at? We'll invite some friends, and we'll just talk about, if you just want to just have some support and all that." So I go over there and I walk in there, and it's Tim Robbins and Susan Sarandon, Gore Vidal, Eddie Vedder from Pearl Jam, Don Cheadle, George Clooney. This is like this whole table. I'm like, what am I doing here? And so they all went around. I just said, why don't you guys, if you were in my shoes, and they all went around and gave the Michael Moore speech, as if they had won the Oscar for Bowling for Columbine. And it was some pretty hilarious. I'll write about it someday. It's pretty funny. But anyways, the next day we won, and in the commercial break just before winning, I'm sitting with the other nominees, and I turned and I said to them, "Hey, listen, if I win, I'm probably gonna. I gotta say, I can't like thank my hairdresser. I'm gonna have to say something, and I'd like to invite you guys, if you want, to come up. Why don't we all go up as a group in solidarity as nonfiction filmmakers?" And they all said, "Okay, great." They were. And I said, "And if you win, I'm sitting right here because you don't want me anywhere near a microphone." So, anyways, Diane Lane came out, read the nominees. She opened the envelope. She said my name and Bowling for Columbine.
Bowling for Columbine. Michael Moore and Michael Donovan.
I'm in this like out-of-body experience, getting up out of my seat. I motioned to all of them to come on and join me, please. And I'm walking up to the stage, and it was like, the two voices that are in Gollum's head in Lord of the Rings. I had that. It was like, like one voice was saying, "Oscar, precious Oscar. Just thank your agent and the little people who brought you here, and leave the stage." And the other voice is going, "No, there's a war on. You have to say something. You have to." No, don't listen to him. Don't listen. No, Oscar, precious. No, Oscar, bad Oscar. War going on. And this is like this fight going on in my head for like the 30 seconds it takes to climb the stage, and I'm walking past Martin Scorsese and Meryl Streep. They're all like, "Go get him, Mike." And so I get up to the microphone, and I started what I thought was a fairly poetic way. I thanked the Canadians who funded the film. They're so quiet up there, but they're so subversive. And some of them are probably in this room. You don't even know it. Anyways, and then I said, I've invited my fellow nominees up here because we make nonfiction films. We really believe in the power of nonfiction because we live in fictitious times. I've invited my fellow documentary nominees on the stage with us, and we would like to. They are here in solidarity with me because we like nonfiction. We like nonfiction, and we live in fictitious times. We live in a time where we have fictitious election results that elects a fictitious president. We live in a time where we have a man sending us to war for fictitious reasons, whether it's the fictition of duct tape or the fictitious of orange alerts. We are against this war, Mr. Bush. Shame on you, Mr. Bush. Shame on you. And anytime you've got the Pope and the 66 against you, your time is up. Thank you very much. It was a friggin' riot, and the booze